2024 Honda CRV, 2024 Nissan Rogue, the Showdown. A special thank you to Don Ayres Honda of Fort Wayne, Indiana, and Fort Wayne Nissan of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Thanks for your partnership and letting me use your cars today. So you might wonder, why compare these two vehicles? It's simple. Honda and Nissan both sell a ton of these vehicles every year, thousands and thousands of them. Nissan of Fort Wayne has provided me with a Rogue Platinum all-wheel drive, their top-of-the-line vehicle. And Don Ayres Honda has provided me with a CRV hybrid all-wheel drive touring sport. Both of these vehicles are tricked out, and I look forward to driving them. Today, we're going to compare these two vehicles from front to back. We're going to take a walk around the outside and look at the exterior styling. Then we're going to get inside and look at the interior features and all of the technology. And then we'll take them for a drive. Finally, I will give you my assessments. So let's dig in. 2024 Honda CRV Sport Touring All-Wheel Drive Hybrid. They did a nice job with the design of this vehicle. Let's take a look. You can see LED daytime running lamps and turn signals, LED headlights. The front styling, you can see there's no front bumper here whatsoever. In fact, this little lip on the top actually overhangs the front bumper a little bit. Comes with the blacked out grille with a large Honda emblem. Front parking sensors also as the rear, and they added just recently these features here. It just makes it a little bit more aggressive. Overall, I like the styling of the front end a lot. It takes cues from the Honda Pilot and the Accord. They really have a consistent theme here, but ultimately it really works for this CRV. Here at the side, you can see in this dark gray paint color with the black accents on this sport touring hybrid, I really like that design a lot. 19-inch wheels with the alloy black painted and glossy, black mirrors, integrated turn signals, blind spot monitoring, and heated. This, of course, does come with the hands-free in and out. Put your hand in here, it unlocks the door. If you're walking away, you can just press on the top here and it locks it. I like that a lot. Ultimately, the styling on the side is mature. It's the theme throughout this car. It is mature, it's sophisticated, it's not too flashy from the side. And of course, I'm going to do the gas door trick. Car is unlocked, gas door opens. Car is locked, gas door does not open. Honda, getting it right. You can see here at the back, it has LED taillights, incandescent turn signal, LED backup lights. Some might wonder, why do I care if they're LED or if they're the old style? Honestly, the LED lights look really cool at night. Plus, they are brighter, so when you go to stop, people will see you a little bit better. Turn signals are still incandescent here. I'd like to see that LED in a future model. But you can see here, it has a couple of reflectors on the bumper. Of course, the integrated rear parking sensors, dual chrome-tipped exhaust outlets. It does have a power hatch, which can be done here at the back. By a key fob in my pocket, or there's a button up front. It opens up to a large area here in the back. Here in the back trunk area, you can see generous space back here. There's a lot of space for stuff. It does have a 12-volt power outlet. This particular one came equipped with the rubber mat. There is no storage underneath. This is the hybrid, so that's where the battery is. There is no spare tire. There is, however, a pump, but no jack. So if you get a flat tire, you're probably going to be stuck calling AAA or calling your insurance company to have them come tow you. There is no rear release for the seats. They are just on the side of the seat, so you'll have to do that from the front if you want to fold them down. So here getting in. My overall first impression is a constant theme that you'll hear me say through this review is of maturity. The interior is simple. The technology is not overwhelming in here, but it feels like the materials that this is made of, like these, two-tone leather seats and the dash, ultimately feels very comfortable, very luxurious in here. So sitting here on the inside, you can see in the driver's seat, this does come with a heated steering wheel, as well as all the controls for audio and the menus and the adaptive cruise control here on the steering wheel. Going in here to the driver information display, the left 2/3 of this are digital and the right is an analog gauge. You can see you've got your Odometer, you've got your digital speedometer in the middle. On the left side, and I reviewed this before, I like the graphic that Honda uses for the seatbelts. You can see mine shows green. I am sitting in here and I do have my seatbelt buckled. This is really nice when you have kids in the back. You can make sure that they have their seatbelts buckled. But this left screen is actually customizable. So you can see you can choose many different things on here. If you don't have people riding in the back seat much, you're not going to leave it on seatbelts. But you can see the all-wheel drive distribution. You can see your powertrain settings. You can show navigation, your phone, all that stuff. So somewhat customizable. I like it overall. At some point, I wish Honda would go towards the full digital dash, which I would expect in the next generation of this car. This does have power seats, but also memory seats, and also buttons over here to open the hatch and to turn traction control off. So of course, this comes with a push button start, as most modern vehicles do these days. This does have this integrated honeycomb looking styling feature going all the way across, somewhat faux carbon fiber here. But I love these air vents. They're almost controlled with this joystick looking thing. I like how it's all integrated there. That's a neat styling cue. The multimedia screen is a 9-inch multimedia screen, a little bit small, probably for the money you're paying for this car. But unfortunately, the generation was designed with this, and I expect it'll probably be changed with the next generation. But ultimately, the display is actually really good as far as its responsiveness. There are a couple of physical buttons here for home and back, as well as obviously a tuning knob and forward and back. This does come with the integrated navigation, also with wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. The screen, like I said, is extremely responsive. Coming down here to the middle, this does have heated seats in the front and also has dual zone climate control, so you can control it left and right differently. It does not have a separate rear control. Down here in the middle is a wireless charging pad, as well as a USB-A and USB-C port and a 12-volt power outlet. It does come with a drive mode selector and comes with a traditional shifter. This particular hybrid does not come with an EV button. In the Accord and the Civic, it does. You could run it on EV for a short while, but the CRV does not come with that. So here in the middle, there's a couple of cup holders, as well as a fairly decent size cubby here in the armrest. This does have a moonroof that's controlled here, sunglasses holder. And you can see the moonroof, which is a standard size moonroof here in the CRV. Here in the back, you can see I have a ton of legroom here. This being a 2-row SUV, it does give you more space here in the back row. That driver's seat was set for me. I'm 5'7", so with a 6-foot plus, it would come back a little bit here, but ultimately you have plenty of legroom back here. This touring model does have the upgraded sound system with a subwoofer. Here in the middle, it's got the 2 air conditioning vents. The heating vents are on the floors underneath the seats. And it does have 2 USB-C ports. Here in the middle, armrest with a couple of cup holders. Overall, I like the styling of the interior of this car with the 2-tone leather seats. I think it looks super sharp. This CRV hybrid comes with the 2.0-liter 4-cylinder engine, mated with the hybrid battery with 2 motors. It does produce a total of 204 horsepower. Should be an extremely reliable engine long term. This is a proven Honda configuration that has done very well for them. I'm here starting out in the CRV. With the hybrid powertrain, this actually just is smooth in its acceleration. You do hear some engine noise when you pound the gas a little bit, but it's just smooth. That hybrid battery torque kind of just makes it a very gradual acceleration. I really like that. Going down the road at 70 miles per hour, let's take a look at the sound. Pretty close to the Rogue, 73 decibels pretty consistently. And again, it's a windy day, so you're going to get some extra wind noise in here. But overall, not super quiet, just like I said about the Rogue. Not super quiet, but also not noisy. Overall, it's tolerable. And I will say this about the CRV, and then I'll talk about the Rogue. The CRV is good enough. Now, For a techie person like me, I like the big screens. I like all of the different technology features that modern cars are giving. This car is just good enough. It doesn't cater to the people that want huge screens and want all the technology in the world. It just doesn't. Um, but to the average everyday buyer, and it's the reason why they sell so many thousands of these vehicles, this technology is good enough. The technology in the Rogue is top notch. It does beat out the CRV every day in every category with the technology, but you do pay for it. That vehicle is, I think, somewhere around $2,500 more than the CRV, but you can't even get an optional upgrade to the screen or to the sound system here in this touring sport touring level. So the Rogue just does offer more technology. There's no way around it. I will say that's not a huge surprise. Honda doesn't cater to people that want the latest and greatest in technology. They just don't. I believe if you were to sit down with the CEO of Honda, they would say, we want to produce reliable, excellent cars that hold their resale value, that are going to run for years and years worry-free. We don't worry about all the latest and greatest technology and cutting-edge technology. We like to have good enough. And I think to that point, they probably hit the target. So the drive here is just, I would say, slightly more mature, slightly more, I'm not going to say luxurious, but a little softer than the Rogue was. I think that's on purpose. Again, Honda tunes this thing for the average driver, not the driver that's looking for a sports car. They're looking for people that want to run this car all day, every day, or run it on trips, run it for, 150, 200,000 miles. And I do think that they built the car accordingly. And this CRV does drive really nice. So getting here back up on the highway again, I'm going to punch it. You can hear the engine noise. It's obviously being helped by the battery motor and the motors that are connected to the battery. But this does get up and go a bit more than the Rogue. But overall, the Rogue is not, I wouldn't say it's underpowered. It just doesn't get up and go quite as fast as the CRV does. So recently I compared a Toyota RAV4 to a CRV. And in that comparison, I told you that I liked the drive of the CRV better than the RAV4. And so how does the Rogue compare to the CRV? Though the Rogue's drive is nice and the interior is very nice, I do give the nod. I do give the thumbs up. I give the slight edge to the CRV with drivability. At least on the highway, I give it the thumbs up to drivability. So my overall impressions of this CRV is that this CRV puts together multiple things that make it the kind of vehicle that it is and the reason why so many people love it. And that is, it is a comfortable drive. It is quiet enough. It absorbs the bumps well. It has a powertrain that gets excellent mileage. It does a lot of things together very well. The technology is good enough that it would meet most people's needs. But this, again, overall impression is this would be an excellent vehicle to own, to run every day, to take on trips, to go, and I think I said this already, to go, into the hundreds of thousands of miles. I think this vehicle is going to be a great vehicle for a long time. 2024 Nissan Rogue Platinum all-wheel drive. They last changed this model in 2021, but it's carrying on, and I think it's aging well. Let's take a look at the design style. So Nissan really changed it a ton from the previous generation to what it is now. It has LED daytime running lamps and turn signals, LED headlights, the reflector, but LED reflector headlights. It does have the front bumper sensors, of course. Overall, the design in the front, a lot of people like it, some people don't. I'm kind of middle of the road. I'm not sure if I like it or not. Overall, I think the design of the exterior of this vehicle is good. The front end, so-so. Here at the side, I think is really where the exterior styling shines for the Rogue. Let me show you the features. 19-inch multicolor alloy wheels. I think those are really sharp. Integrated turn signals, 360 to view camera here on the side, blind spot monitoring, as well as heated. This Rogue, you have to hit the button. Like, you can't just reach in and open the handle. You have to hit the button. It's just a little nuance. Nissan likes to do it that way, whatever. Some people like that. Some people like it just, where you don't have to hit a button, whatever. But you can see the styling here on the bottom with that little chrome strip. I really like that. I wonder if after time getting in and out, you would scratch that a little bit, but at least new, it looks really nice. And we're here on the passenger side of the Rogue to do the gas door check because it's on the passenger side. So let's see. Doors unlocked. Really good feature that I like a lot, as you know. Good job, Nissan. Here at the back, you can see LED tail lights, incandescent turn signal, incandescent backup light. I would expect that to change with the next generation to where it's all LED. It does have the chrome strip here on the bumper as well as the chrome sill plate. I really like that. Of course, rear backup sensors. The exhaust are not pronounced on this. The exhaust comes down on the bottom, which you can't even see. Easy to open the back. There's a button here for the power latch. Can be done from the key fob as well as by the dash. Here looking in the back, you can see it is quite generous, the space back here. The Rogue from its inception has done a weird thing with this cargo area. It has these two little tray things. I'm not sure I would ever leave these in. It cuts down about 3-4 inches of vertical space in here. Maybe they do it so you can hide stuff underneath. I'm not sure. To me, it's a little gimmicky. I would just rather just pull those out and just have the additional height there with the space. This does come with a spare. It's a mini spare, but it does come with a spare and a jack. And this also has manual levers to release the back row. Something I wish Honda would put in the back of theirs is the ability to do that. When you're loading stuff in the back, you don't want to have to go around the front, put the seats down, that kind of thing. Simple feature, but I really like it. This also has the feature for the tailgate where you press the button to lock it. It closes and it locks the vehicle for you. I like that. So here, getting in, my overall first impressions are a little bit of, wow, I see a lot of technology, large screens here. Overall, the materials in here on the seats and the dash seem to be of very high quality. So my overall first impression is very good of this vehicle. So sitting here in the driver's seat, let's review the driver information display. This is where I think the Rogue really shines. I love how they have put the 12.3-inch digital display in here, which is highly customizable about what you see. The first thing I'll do is I'll just change the gauge view. So it comes from that little more traditional one to this, a little more new agey kind of thing. And once you're here, you can actually scroll through, lots of different information. Your safety assist features. Of course, you can just change a bunch of different settings in here. Ultimately, I think, being old school like I am, I want the old school looking gauges. Of course, it's got digital speedometer, not it's analog as well, but it's digital. But I really like how you can configure this. I think they did a really great job with this. Of course, on the steering wheel are your regular controls for your cruise control, your advanced cruise control, which is, of course, adaptive. All your safety features here, navigation on the menu here. Overall, this excellent job with the driver's display. This Platinum trim does have memory seats, as well as some of the functions down here to turn on and off lane keeping assist or some of your other safety features. Going over here to the center multimedia screen, it is a 12.3-inch multimedia screen. This is a fantastic display. And for somebody like me that really likes a large display, this one does a great job. Nissan actually gives you the ability to save profiles. So depending on the driver, you can switch the profiles about the view that you like. I really do like this a lot. It's 12 inches. It does come with the 12.3. It comes with the integrated maps. It also, of course, has wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. But overall, they did an amazing job with this. You can see the navigation takes up the whole thing. You can, of course, go to your Apple CarPlay and then go from there. course. Very nice screen, very responsive to the touch. It does have a few hard buttons down here for a couple of different controls, like the 360 view camera. Here's one of the other things I like about this vehicle. Gives you a complete 360 view. Doesn't even have to be when you have it in reverse. I just press the button. I'm sitting here so I can see all around. But again, the technology is excellent here in this car. Going down here to the middle, of course, it has heated seats. And something else that is very rare in this size SUV is this has controls, separate controls for the rear heating and air conditioning. You can control it from here, or you can control it from the back. Very rare in a vehicle of this size. You can see it has two USB-C ports as well as a 12-volt power outlet. It does have a wireless charging pad, a fairly traditional gear shift. It's got the park button, but it's here in the middle. It does have a drive mode selector, a couple of cup holders here. Interesting way that this folds open like that. It kind of splits in the middle. It does have a cubby. There are no power outlets here in the center armrest. Overall, I do like the styling of the interior a lot. It is a little bit more busy than the CRV, but it really does work with the styling of this vehicle. As I mentioned before, this does have the panoramic moonroof with the sunshade. Of course, all the controls are here. It does have a sunglasses holder. Here in the back, you can see I have a good amount of legroom here, very similar to what the CRV was. They have a lot of features here in the back of this Rogue. Comes with the sunshades. The CRV did not have that. This has heated seats for the outboard passengers. CRV does not have that as well. Two USB-C charging ports. The AC vents are here, also the heat vents on the floor like the CRV, but you do have the ability to control them separately back here from the front. It's called tri-zone, right? This is the third zone. Of course, here in the middle, armrest with a couple of cup holders. Overall, I like the styling back here. The seats are a bit firm, a little bit less cushy than the CRV. My guess is over time they would break in a little bit, so it would be a little bit softer. But overall, the back here I really like. This Rogue comes with a 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. It does not have the hybrid component. This does produce 201 horsepower, and it is mated to a CVT, or a continuously variable transmission. So I'm here driving the Rogue. One thing I like about this is the ride height. It feels like this rides just a bit higher, and maybe it's the way I have the seat configured too, but it feels like it rides just a bit higher than the CRV does. You get a slightly more commanding view of the road. Overall, it's very quiet in here. With the interior configured like this, it is quite luxurious, actually. It surprises me, the quality of the interior. So I'm going to get up here on the highway and run a punch it. 201 horsepower. I know years ago I owned a 2014 Nissan Rogue with the CVT, and it actually was a little annoying. They've really toned down the sound in here a lot, so that the engine revving way up with the CVT, you could hear it as almost like it was sitting on top of your feet. That's not the case anymore. This is much quieter. They've obviously refined this engine and transmission a lot more. That's a good thing. Nissan, over about the last 10 or 15 years, has had some issues with their transmissions. It's widely known that in the Nissan Jukes and in some of the Sentras and even some of the Altimas and Maximas with the 4-cylinder engines, that they've had issues with their transmissions. The Rogue has not been plagued with that same issue, though I still fear for the transmission a bit. You do get a fairly sizable warranty with this car. And ultimately, I believe they've figured it out. If you look at the reviews, you can see that there's not a ton of people that still have transmission issues, or that have the transmission issues with the Rogue. And I would hope this generation and going forward, they will have solved that as well. So here on the highway, going 75 miles per hour. Our decibel reading is 72. Not super quiet, but also not real loud. I will say it is a bit windy today. We'll see what it is also in the CRV. So with the wind, it does add a little bit of noise here, but overall, it's relatively quiet. It's not super quiet, but it's also not real loud. It is a comfortable ride. And if you're liking this car comparison, don't forget to click like and subscribe below to make sure you don't miss out on any of my latest comparisons. And also, by clicking subscribe, the more subscribers I get, the earlier access I will have to newly redesigned vehicles. That way, as soon as they're redesigned, I can get in them and I can make a comparison so you guys can see all the differences. The one feature that I really like on cars, and this Rogue has it, it was an option added to this, is the heads-up display. I am a huge fan of that. It really does help keep your driver attention on the road rather than looking down to your speedometer for the speed limit and things like that. It's all shining right up in front of you. I really like that feature a lot. So my overall driving impressions of the Rogue, I really do like how this car drives. It doesn't quite soak up the bumps, not quite as well as the CRV. But this being the fourth generation of the Rogue, they really have learned from some of their past mistakes with the drivetrain being so loud. It's not as loud. They've made the drivetrain better. The interior on this vehicle, again, it's $43,000 vehicle. The interior is really nice. The technology is top notch. It feels like a new car, and the technology is going to be good enough for a long time in this vehicle. So my overall opinion is I do give it a thumbs up to the drive, thumbs up to just the overall feel, and what would be a great everyday driving vehicle. So there you have it. We've taken both of these vehicles for a drive. We've looked at their exterior styling, and we've looked at the interior features and all the technology. I give the nod to the Nissan Rogue for its updated interior styling and plush interior, as well as its technology with that big screen and nice driver information display. Also, it does have a panoramic moonroof, which I really like. I do give the nod to the CRV hybrid for its drivability and its powertrain. The CRV drives down the road very nice. It's quiet and would be great on a trip. And the hybrid powertrain gives you excellent gas mileage. Both of these cars should have above average reliability and do very well with resale value, with the slight edge for resale going to the CRV.
This is the 2024 Honda CRV Sport Touring Hybrid. It gets 204 horsepower from a 4-cylinder engine mated with the hybrid. It is all-wheel drive. It has the Honda Sensing Safety System with collision mitigation braking, adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, forward collision warning, blind spot monitoring, and rear cross traffic alert. It comes with 2 years of complimentary maintenance, comes with a 3-year, 36,000-mile comprehensive warranty, along with a 5-year, 60,000-mile powertrain warranty. It gets 40, 34, and 37 miles per gallon in the city, highway, and mixed. The MSRP is $42,495. This is the 2024 Nissan Rogue Platinum. It gets 201 horsepower from a 1.5-liter 3-cylinder turbo engine. It has all-wheel drive. It has the Nissan Safety Shield 360 package, which includes blind spot monitoring, lane departure warning, rear cross traffic alert, automatic emergency braking with pedestrian detection, a 360-degree camera with front and rear parking sensors. Comes with a 3-year, 36,000-mile comprehensive warranty, along with a 6-year, 60,000-mile powertrain warranty. It gets 28, 34, and 31 miles per gallon in the city, highway, and combined. The MSRP on this car is $46,500.